Federal law makes it illegal to own a gun and use medical marijuana at the same time.
WDRB's Schanie here to answer some viewer questions about what this law means for them, because a lot of people, after they saw your story, are wondering about these particulars, Addie.
Right. Tons of questions, tons of intricacies. It boils down to this. Under federal law, you can't own a gun and use marijuana at the same time. It doesn't matter if marijuana is legal in your state. Violating this could mean prison time and a big fine. However, the ATF says it's unlikely for anyone to be pursued for this alone.
There is now going to be a conflict between those that under state law are allowed to have medicinal cannabis, but if they're in possession of a firearm, they're in violation of federal law because it is regulated under federal law as a controlled substance.
All right, so one of the first questions, Addie, under what circumstances would breaking this law lead to an investigation?
Likely only if it's in connection to another federal crime. ATF tells me they're prioritizing investigations involving violent offenses like shootings, armed robberies, carjackings, and gang-related activities.
You know, we've been talking about how federal agencies will handle this, but what about local agencies such as LMPD's involvement?
Yeah, that was a big question. Since LMPD is tasked with upholding state laws and this is a federal law, the department told us it's not charged with enforcing it.
All right, so what about people who, sometimes they're using other drugs, they can be narcotics. Is it legal for them to own a gun?
So that depends on if they're using the drug lawfully or not. If you're prescribed pain pills, it's legal for you to own a gun. If you use depressants, stimulants, or narcotic drugs you are not prescribed federally, you can't own a gun. The ATF tells me that under federal law, there are no restrictions on owning a gun and drinking alcohol.
Yeah, so all this has to be worked out really with the federal laws. If someone with a medical marijuana card bought their guns, then got the card, now when this becomes law, does the law still apply to them about not owning a gun?
Yes, it does. There's not an order of actions that you can do this to make using marijuana and owning a gun at the same time legal federally. I asked the ATF if medical marijuana card holders with guns are expected to give them up in order to follow federal law. Here's what Assistant Special Agent AJ Gibbs told me.
They're not expected to. If they wish to follow federal law and not be in violation of it, then they need to make the decision to divest themselves from those firearms.
All right, so a lot of this will be worked out in the coming weeks, months, and maybe years when it comes to federal law.
Yes.
But thanks for all this update on it, Addie.
Thank you, guys.
All right, well, turning now to President-elect Donald Trump saying